So previously we have seen two kinds of rectifiers. One is a half wave rectifier. The other one is a full wave rectifier. We have seen a full wave rectifier using two diodes, and we have also solved some numerical examples on that. There is another way of constructing a full wave rectifier. We have said this, right? Full wave rectifier can also be constructed using four diodes, which are connected in the form of a bridge, and that we call a bridge rectifier. So a bridge rectifier is a full wave rectifier itself, but it is constructed using four diodes connected in the form of a bridge. So it is a full wave rectifier, so it converts both the half cycles of the input to input AC to pulsating DC. So here, this is a circuit diagram of a bridge rectifier. So you can see there are four diodes D1, D2, D3 and D4 which are connected this way, right? So here you give the AC input, then there is a transformer here, step down transformer. Whatever the available voltage at the secondary of the transformer is V2, that is given across these 2 points, and the load is connected here in between these two. So we show it like this. So we can also connect a load here and show this is where you are measuring the output. That's why it's called a bridge. Here you are connecting inputs, and across these points you are connecting the outputs, right? So while drawing the circuits, the diodes have to be drawn, the direction of the diodes have to be proper. Okay, if it is if you draw it inverse or something, the whole operation will go wrong. So it's not correct. So this way, diodes D1 and D2 are connected this way, and D3 and D4 are connected this way, right? So here since there are two diodes in each half cycle, two diodes will be conducting, and the current will be due to two diodes. So this is I0 load current that is flowing through the load resistance RL, and you are measuring the V0 across R. Okay, here there is a ground connected, which you can show. So as I said, there are four diodes D1, D2, D3, D4, which are arranged in the form of a bridge. So you call it a bridge rectifier. It's basically a full wave rectifier. Sometimes we also call it full wave bridge rectifier. Then it is this bridge rectifier. Okay. There is a step down transformer again to reduce the available AC voltage to required level. So normally it will be 230 volts. So we will be requiring DC of some maximum, say 20-25 volts. So it has to be brought down initially. The resistance RL is the load resistance which consumes power from the rectifier. So coming to the operation, the input is an AC signal. As we have seen, it is the same thing, the AC signal. So it is in the form of Vm sin omega t. Then you have the transformer turns ratio N1 by N2 is equal to V1 by V2. That's the relation. So V2 will be N2 by N1 into V1. So that V1 is Vm sin omega t. So I can write V2 is N2 by N1 into Vm sin omega t. So if you take N1 is equal to N2, for the case of simplicity, we can write V2 is Vm sin omega t. So it's a sine wave with peak value of Vm, right, and period 2 pi. So now you can consider two half cycles and explain the operation. During positive half cycle, tell me what happens. During positive half cycle, here you are going to get positive, and here you are going to get negative, right? So here you are going to get positive, and here you are going to get negative. So which diodes are forward biased and which are reverse biased? Tell me. Which diodes are forward biased? So positive of the voltage is connected to P side of D1, and negative is connected to N side. Similarly, in D2, negative is connected to N side of D2 and positive is connected to P side. So D1 and D2 are forward biased. Whereas if you consider D4, see here, the N side is connected to positive and P side is connected to negative. So D4 is reverse biased. Similarly, if you consider D3, N side is connected to, the negative of the voltage is connected to N side, positive is connected to the P side. So D3 is also reverse biased. So during positive half cycle, diodes D1 and D2 are forward biased, whereas D3 and D4 are reverse biased. So I can draw, I mean, the direction, I can trace the direction of the current, it's moving, okay, it's originating here from positive, It's coming this way, then through diode it is flowing, right? Then here, since it is an open circuit, there is no current flow in this path, right? From here in this node, there are two paths. Here there is an open circuit, so there is no current flow in this path. Current flows this way, and from this node, it goes this way. And from here, it enters RL as I naught, right? And it is coming this way, then moving this way, right? Then here again, in this particular thing, there is this path, right? It is coming through diode D2. At this path, at this particular node, again, there are two paths. Since here there is an open circuit, no current flows into D3. So all the current comes into this, right? So this is the path that the current takes. Coming to this particular node, then through D1, it goes through RL, then coming through D2, again it comes here. So this is the path. So D3 and D4, since they are reverse biased, they act as an open circuit. So the current will not flow through these paths. Is that clear? So from this, you can draw the equivalent circuit of the diode, or the circuit, equivalent circuit by, yeah, during positive half cycle, the diodes D1 and D2 are forward biased, whereas D3 and D4 are reverse biased. The forward biased diodes conduct and the reverse biased diodes, they do not conduct, or we say they remain off. And the conducting diodes can be replaced by forward resistance RF, and the non-conducting diodes can be replaced by open circuit. Okay, so the equivalent circuit, we can draw it like this. In the secondary of the transformer, you have voltage V2. Here you had diode D3 and D4, they are open circuit, so I can just eliminate that particular path. So whatever direction I had shown, this is the path that the current takes. The diode D1 is replaced with RF, D2 is replaced with RF because they are conducting. Here there is a current this way, right? So if you traverse the path, the current, it goes through three resistances. One is RF here through because of the diode D1, then it comes through RL, then there is another RF. So there are two diodes which are on here, unlike the full wave rectifier where only one diode was on. Here there are two diodes which are on, right? So you can write the equation for current I naught as V2 divided by three resistances in series, RF plus RL plus RF. Is it right? So I naught is V2 divided by RL plus RF plus RL plus RF. So RF plus RF, I can write 2 RF. And then what is my V2? V2 is the sine wave, input sine wave, Vm sine omega t. So I can keep this Vm divided by 2 RF plus RL as Im, right? I can take this Vm divided by 2 RF plus RL as Im and write Im sine omega t, right? So then Im is 2m Vm divided by 2 RF plus RL in this case. So in case of half wave rectifier and full wave rectifier, only one diode would be conducting, so only one RF was there. But in case of bridge rectifier, this is the main difference we have. The peak current is Vm divided by 2 RF plus RL, right? And output voltage is V naught, again that is equal to I naught into RL. Okay, so now this is about the positive half cycle of the input. When we consider the negative half cycle of the input, during negative half cycle, D3 and D4 are forward biased. If you consider the negative half cycle, so there will be D3 and D4 which are forward biased. So negative half cycle means here there will be minus and here there will be plus. Okay, so if here there is minus and here there is plus, then which diodes are forward biased? So we can see here negative of the battery or the voltage is connected to N side of D4, positive is connected to P side. So D4 will be forward biased. Similarly, positive will be connected to P side of the D3 and negative will be connected to N side of D3. So D3 is also forward biased. Whereas just check with the diodes D1 and D2, here negative is connected to P side, positive is connected to N side. So D1 is reverse biased. Similarly, positive is connected to N side of D2, negative is connected to P side of D2. So D2 is also reverse biased. So diodes D1 and D2 are reverse biased, whereas D3 and D4 are forward biased in negative half cycle of the input AC. Then what will be the path of the current? See here there is positive, right? So this will be the direction from positive. If it originates, it comes to this particular node. In this node, since here there is an open circuit, there is no current in this path, so all the current will move in this direction. At this particular node, right, you know, again, since here there is an open circuit, all the current enters here, and this current will flow through RL as I naught, and it will come to this path, right? In this path, what happens? Yeah, it comes here, it traverses this path, and here, since again there is an open circuit, no current enters here, all the current will enter my D4, and at this node, it comes this way, right? So this is the direction of current, right? So it comes this way, then there is a diode, then there is a resistance, then again comes this way, then again there is a diode. So what you can do is the equivalent circuit will actually be the same for this, except that instead of D1 and D2 are replaced by RF in the positive half cycle, your D3 and D4 will be replaced by forward resistance RF, right? So there are two forward resistances and one RL, similar to what you have seen in positive half cycle, right? Two forward resistances, one because of D3, here there is an RF, then again RL, and here again there is an RF, right? So the current, no, it goes through the same resistances or same amounts of resistances even in the negative half cycle. So even in the negative half cycle, it conducts the same current. So even in the negative half cycle, the conducting diodes, if you are replacing it with forward resistance RF and non-conducting diodes by an open circuit, you get a similar equivalent circuit for which we can write again I naught is Im sine omega t, right? So you'll actually get V2 divided by 2RF plus RL, the same thing. So V2 is Vm sine omega t. Vm sine omega t, Vm divided by 2RF plus RL, you can take as Im and write it as Im sine omega t, right? So again, output voltage V naught is I naught into RL. So using both of these, in positive and negative half cycle, since I naught is Im sine omega t, you can write for entire bridge rectifier, the entire cycle for both the half cycles. If you combine and write, you'll get I naught is Im sine omega t, where Im is Vm divided by 2 RF plus R. So from this, if you draw the waveforms, or yeah, again, if you consider an ideal diode, for an ideal diode, RF is 0. In that case, again, Im will be Vm divided by Rn. If you consider the waveforms of the bridge rectifier, this is the input. You can see the input here. It is a periodic signal, sinusoidal wave of period 2 pi. Peak value is Vm, negative peak is minus Vm. Then diodes D1 and D2, they are on during positive half cycle. So the current through diode D1 and D2 is the same, ID1 and ID2. So they will be having the current, it will be Im sin omega t only during positive half cycle. During negative half cycle, diode D1 and D2 are off, so the currents through them is 0, right? During positive half cycle, it has Im sin omega t, so the peak value is Im. And during negative half cycle, you can see the current through the diode D3 and D4. During positive half cycle, D3 and D4 are off, so their current is 0. Then during negative half cycle, you can see they are conducting with Im sin omega t. Then the load current I naught is due to ID1 and ID2, that is D1 and D2 during positive half cycle. So you get this particular thing here. But during negative half cycle, it is due to diodes D3 and D4. So you get it here, right? So this is my load current. You can see both the half cycles are obtained at the input, but both are positive. There is no current in the reverse direction. So then if you consider output voltage V naught, it is I naught into RL. So it follows the load current, right? And its peak value will be Im into RL, because peak value of I naught is Im multiplied by the load resistance RL to get the output voltage V naught. So this is about the waveform of the bridge rectifier, right? We have seen input voltage. You have to draw the currents through all the 4 diodes. D1 and D2 is same. Then D3 and D4 are same. Then load current and output voltage. Okay. Then there are different parameters. So here I will not be deriving the same things again, because it's merely a repetition of what we have seen in half wave or full wave rectifiers. So you get all the expressions same as you get in a full wave rectifier, except that in this case, the value of Im is Vm divided by 2Rf plus Rl. So wherever you had RF in the case of full wave rectifier with 2 diodes, here there will be 2 RF. In case of 4 diodes, 2 of the diodes will be on in each half cycle. So there will be 2 RFs in series. That's why here, wherever there was RF in that case, here there will be 2 RF. So Im will be equal to Vm divided by 2 RF plus Rn. So based on that, our some of the equations which involves RF will change from RF to 2RF. So we will see each of the parameters one by one. First one we derived was average or DC value of load current, that is IDC. It is the same, here also you'll get, because the waveform is the same, load current is the same, right? So IDC is equal to 2 Im by pi. But when you consider Im here, it will be Vm divided by 2 RF plus RL. That's the change you have to consider. Similarly, average or DC output voltage will be VDC. That VDC will be IDC into RL. If you find that, it will be equal to 2 Vm by pi divided by RL, 2 Vm by pi multiplied by RL divided by 2 RF plus RL. So in case of bridge rectifier, instead of RF, here there will be 2 RF. Okay, instead of RF, there will be 2 RF. That's the difference you have to note. And if you divide numerator and denominator by RL, you get 2 Vm by pi divided by 1 plus 2 RF by RL here. Okay, wherever there is RF, just make it 2 RF. Okay, that's the way you get. And again, in case of an ideal diode, RF is 0, so VDC is 2 Vm by pi. There is no change because RF is 0 there. So whether it is RF or 2 RF, in an ideal diode, it will not be considering. We will not be considering that. So it's just 2 Vm by pi. Then RMS or AC value of load current, it is Im by root 2. That remains the same. But Im, when you consider, it should be Vm divided by 2 RF plus RL. Similarly, RMS or AC value of output voltage, VRMS. Okay, so here it is actually VRMS, okay, which is not IRMS, IDC, IRMS, and here it is VRMS. So VRMS is Vm by root 2 into RL divided by 2 RF plus RL. That's the change. And if you obtain in the form of this particular form, then it will be Vm by root 2 divided by 1 plus 2 RF by R. Again, for the case of an ideal diode, VRMS will be equal to Vm by root 2 because RF is 0. Then coming to percentage regulation. Percentage regulation we obtained as RF by RL into 100%, right? In case of bridge rectifier, it will be 2 RF by RL into 100%. Because as I said, wherever there is RF, just make it 2 RF, you'll get the equations for bridge rectifier. So you can derive this and try, you'll get it like this, okay? You can take it as an assignment and derive and try to derive all these parameters for bridge rectifier, following the same thing what we had seen. Again, in an ideal case, if diodes are ideal, RF is 0, so percentage regulation is 0 ideally. Coming to efficiency, percentage efficiency is 81.05 divided by 1 plus RF by RL in that case, but here it will be 1 plus 2 RF by RL, that much percentage. Then if you want to find the maximum efficiency, it is in the case of an ideal diode where RF is 0, so maximum efficiency will remain the same, that is 81.05%. Right? So you can derive, sometimes you might also be asked to derive the efficiency of a bridge rectifier. You can try that. You have to use the same, start from the same equation for efficiency, PDC by PI, get the power, substitute the equations for bridge rectifier, PDC and PI. Okay, you will get it this way. Then you have the ripple factor. Ripple factor, you use this. Here if you substitute VRMS and VDC for bridge rectifier, again you get the same. Because those terms 2 RF by RL, they will be common in VRMS and VDC. That thing gets cancelled. So what remains is the same, that is 0.48. Right? Then the last one we had was the peak inverse voltage. The peak inverse voltage will be little different. If you consider the equivalent circuit of a full wave bridge rectifier, this is for positive half cycle. Here, while drawing the equivalent circuit, as I said, we remove the load. The load was connected in between these two, right? Here the load is connected. We have just removed that. And here, we had this kind of thing that I have drawn using straight lines like this. It can be done. During positive half cycle, diodes D1 and D2 are forward biased, so we can replace that with short circuit. Whereas D3 and D4 are reverse biased, we can replace that with open circuit. Right? Since they are reverse biased, they will have a reverse voltage VR across them. And if you compare, the voltage applied from here to here is V2. That same V2 is appearing across this VR and this VR. They are the same, right? So VR will be equal to V2. Since here for the short circuit, the voltage drop is 0. So VR will be equal to V2. Even if when you consider both the paths still the same, right? Both the branches, it is VR, it is equal to the applied voltage V2. And what is that V2? V2 is Vm sine omega t. Now, what is the peak value of this signal? The maximum value of that signal, that is the peak inverse voltage. What is that maximum value? It is this Pm, right? Vm. So here peak inverse voltage is equal to Vm. In case of half wave rectifier, it was Vm. For bridge rectifier also it is Vm, whereas in a full wave rectifier with two diodes, we had got it as 2 Vm. Okay, so this is the way you can get the expressions for different parameters. So the same derivations hold good even for bridge rectifier. Only the change is that wherever you had RF, that in case of bridge rectifier you get 2 RF. You can try those derivations and obtain the expressions whatever we have got. Then in bridge rectifier also the same kind of numerical examples can be asked. What you had seen for half wave and bridge rectifier. They mentioned bridge rectifier. You use the equations for bridge rectifier and solve them, right? So there is one problem or numerical example that has been there in your model paper related to bridge rectifier. Just note this down. A full wave bridge rectifier with an input of 100 volts. The input value, it is given 100 volts, it is given, it is RMS value. Even if it is not given, as I said, whatever value you get this way, that will be the RMS value. It is said it feeds a load of 1 kilo ohm. That means the load is 1 kilo ohm or 1000 ohms. And here Vt is given. Vt is equal to 0.7 volts. What is Vt? The threshold voltage. Okay, so all this while in all our numerical examples related to rectifiers, we have not considered this Vt or the forward voltage drop. If you remember, in any of the problems, we have not considered Vt. We have just considered the forward resistance of diode RF. But we have assumed that, there is no forward voltage drop. We have just ignored that 0.7 volts. But here, when it is given, you will have to consider that, and we will see what changes we have to make. Okay, so what is asked is if the diodes employed are of silicon. Okay, even if they do not give this, it is understood because Vt is given as 0.7 volts. Okay, if the diodes employed are of silicon, what is the DC voltage across the load? The DC load voltage is asked, DC output voltage is asked. Then determine the PIV rating of each diode. PIV rating of each diode. Then also determine the maximum current that each diode conducts and the diode power rating. Right? The maximum current that each diode conducts and and the diode power rating. Maximum current will be Im. The peak value of current is Im, and power rating. Power rating is actually product of voltage and current. So how to find VDC? First write the given things. Given V2 is equal to 100 volts. Whatever value you get here, it is the transformer secondary voltage V2. You can take it as V2. It is 100 volts. Then RL load voltage is 1K and VT is given, so it is 0.7 volts. Now, what is the equation for VDC? So before we find VDC, so from this value of V2, we can find Vm, the peak value. Since V2 is the RMS value, we can find peak value Vm using Vm is equal to root 2 into V2. So multiply root 2 with the value of V2 that is given 100. So you'll get 141.42. Is it right? Because root 2 is 1.4142, right? If you multiply that by 100, you get 141.42 volts. This is my Vm. Next, I have to find the DC voltage across the load. What is DC voltage across the load? VDC. In normal cases, it would be 2 Vm by pi. In case of a full wave rectifier, VDC is 2 Vm by pi. See, in this case, RF is not given. Diode's forward resistance is not given, so you can neglect that. If you neglect, if RF is 0, VDC will be 2 Vm by pi. But the forward voltage drop of the diode is given, that is the threshold voltage is given. When the threshold voltage is given in the forward, in case of when the diodes are conducting, two diodes will be on in case of a full wave bridge rectifier, right? So in full wave bridge rectifier, you can say instead of 2 Vm by pi, we are actually having Vm minus 2 Vt, 2 times of Vm minus 2 Vt divided by pi. If it was a full wave rectifier with two diodes and Vt was given, you need to consider Vm minus Vt, because that much voltage drop is absorbed in the diode. That will be the voltage drop across the diode. But here, since it is 4 diode bridge rectifier, you have to consider 2 times of Vt, because 2 diodes will be on. So it is Vm minus 2 Vt, 2 into Vm minus 2 Vt divided by pi. So this is a change that you need to make when Vt is given. Okay. So what is Vm 141.42 you have obtained here? Minus 2 into Vt is 0.7. Calculate this and tell what do you get. 2 into 141.42 volts minus 2 into 0.7. This has to be calculated first, then multiply by 2 divided by pi. What do you get? 89.14. Yes, 89.14 volts. This is the average. Sorry, this is actually the average value. This has to be VDC. Okay, please correct this. This has to be VDC. This is the VDC, not Vm. This is VDC, or average value of the voltage across the load. Right? Next thing that is asked is, you're also asked to find the maximum current through the diodes. Maximum current through the diodes is Im. Im you can find as Vm by RL, right? Vm by RL in normal cases. But here it is not just Vm, there is a voltage drop. So it is Vm minus 2 Vt divided by RL. So wherever there was Vm, now we have to consider Vm minus 2 Vt, because there are two diodes which are forward biased. Vm minus 2 Vt divided by RL. So Vm 141.42 minus 2 into 0.7 divided by RL is 1K. What is the value of Im? That is the peak value or the maximum value of the current through the diodes. You'll get 140 milliamps. Yes, 140 milliamps, right? 140.02 or 140 milliamps. You can approximate also. Now, what else is asked? You're also asked to find the diode power rating. How to find the power? Power is equal to voltage into current. So PD is the diode power, is equal to diode voltage into diode current. So what is VD? The voltage across the diode. What is the voltage across the diode? It is 0.7, right? Power rating for each diode. For each diode, voltage across each diode is VT, that is 0.7. And what is the current? When you consider the power equation, what value of current you will use? You have to use RMS value of the current. So ID will be IRMS. From Im, you have found the value of Im. From that, you can find IRMS by dividing by root 2, right? Im is root 2 into IRMS. So IRMS is Im by root 2. You have this, right? IRMS is Im by root 2. So if I divide this by root 2, Im by root 2, 140.02 divided by root 2, I'll get around 99 milliamps. ID will be 99.01 milliamps. Is it right? Did you get this? So use these values 0.7 and 99.01 in this equation. What do you get? 0.7 into 99.01, 69.3. Units for power is watts. Okay, it's not amps. Units for power is watts. It is 69.3 milliwatts. That's the diode power rating. Then you should also find the peak inverse voltage. You're also asked to find the peak inverse voltage. Peak inverse voltage in case of bridge rectifier is Vm. Vm you have found to be 141.42. right? So this way you can solve problems if Vt is given. Okay, the same thing you have to apply even for full wave and half wave rectifiers. If at all Vt is given, you need to consider, you have to subtract that value of Vt from Vm while finding the other values, right? So that's one example we had. So what we have done till now is we have converted our input AC to pulsating DC. In the process of conversion of AC to DC, whatever output we have achieved so far is only pulsating DC. It's not the pure DC, right? So if you consider the waveforms of a half wave rectifier output, the load current will be like this, and output voltage will be like this, right? We are getting only for one half cycle in the positive direction. Even if you consider a full wave rectifier, you're not obtained a pure DC. Load current, it is still pulsating. Even though we get for both the half cycles, there are pulses, you can see it is pulsating DC. But what about pure DC? A pure DC is just a straight line. It's just a straight line. That means it is constant with respect to time. So to again purify this, to remove the AC content, there is still AC content present in the output. Even though we call it DC, there is still AC content present in the output. To remove that AC content, we use another additional thing in the circuit, and we call it a filter. Okay, we have to filter out these AC components present in the rectified output so that our output becomes more near to pure DC. So that filtering out or removing the AC component present in the rectified output is called filtering, and the circuits which we use for doing this operation are called filters. So one method of implementing the filters is by connecting a capacitor in parallel with the load resistance. Okay, if you connect a capacitor in parallel with the load resistance, most of the AC components will be filtered out. Such kind of a circuit which uses capacitor as a filter, we call it capacitive filter circuits. So in the next class, we will have a look at this capacitive filter circuits and how the output changes when you connect a capacitor across the load of both half wave as well as full wave rectifiers.